Hello everybody, Ajarnie here to ask you all the question many of you are surely pondering on this fine day on the 1st of April 2023. Unless you live in Australia where it's the 2nd, but I digress. Can you beat The Last of Us Part 1 in under 2 hours? First I loaded up the game, realised nothing was being captured, and then activated display capture so you could see the loading screen. After going through my settings, I hit the main menu and was able to go through even more settings just to find out some of the settings I entered had to be redone. But now we hit the all-important question, and the all-important task of pressing play, and shaders need to be built for the best experience. But as someone who aims for the highest of quality content, I aim to deliver. And so the shader building is on the way. But to reflect the fact that we still have a time limit of only 2 hours, suddenly the goalpost has shifted. And the further into the challenge I got, I realized I needed to change the challenge entirely. And so I present to you the question that is definitely on more of your minds. Can you build the shaders for The Last of Us Part 1 before the Steam refund window expires? To give myself the best chances of completing this challenge without harming my wallet too much, or even at all because I already have these computer specs, but don't worry about it, I used a PC with an RTX 3070, an i7-12700K CPU, and 32 whoppingly unnecessary gigabytes of RAM. But hopefully not too much of a detriment, because I had to record this challenge with OBS, inevitably stripping me of some very useful resources that I'd need to utilize for building these shaders. Thankfully, the challenge started out at a decent pace, with almost 1% progress per minute of gameplay. In about 5 minutes, I was little more than 30 seconds behind, and figured at this pace the challenge would be complete in just over 100 minutes, which is well within the 2-hour window. That's an hour and 40 minutes for those of you who don't want to do maths. At about 8 minutes in, I figured the challenge was going well enough that I would publish this video, and so I took a picture of my progress mid-run and tweeted about it to give the people who actually checked that train wreck a heads up. Thank you, Elon Musk, you have done so well. But it was about 12% when I began writing the script for this challenge that I'm reading right now, because I realized I was on pace and not at risk of losing too much time, if any at all. As of this paragraph here, the progress bar was sitting at a smooth 22% at about 23.5 minutes in, which isn't ideal, but if I'm only going to lose 2 minutes of time for every 25% progress made, that still puts me at a nice hour and 48 minutes for the run. And while not part of the challenge, those extra 12 minutes of gameplay will be crucial in determining whether the game gets refunded right back into the disappointing PC port section of the Steam store. Thankfully, the process sped up a little bit within the next few minutes, and at 25% it had been no more than exactly 25 minutes. I might even get that full 20 minutes of gameplay in yet. But, unfortunately, my luck was about to end as this run took a very dark turn, as I realized very soon I would have to go to bed. That's right, I'd done the stupid act of starting this challenge at 11 PM just after I'd taken medication that usually knocks me out cold. Unfortunately, I was uncertain as to whether my progress would be auto-saved for when I next launched the game, as manually saving the shadow progress had yet to be unlocked, if it was unlockable at all. This is made more devastating by the realization that I was actually ahead of time by about 30 seconds at the 27% mark, and had the potential to break the 1 hour and 40 minute mark to score myself my very own first personal best time since I spedrun The Simpsons Hit and Run about 3 years ago. Good times. However, my meds hadn't kicked in yet, so I was not willing to give up. I sat with the game open and left the shaders building for the next half an hour while I watched YouTube videos on a completely separate device, and I inevitably would have to close the game out of a complete lack of energy. But before I got to that point, I noticed something critical. While partway through Casually Explained's video on rock climbing, I noticed the shaders compilation had been stuck at 33% for over 3 minutes. That was deeply concerning, as by the time I'd gotten to 34%, the timer was sitting at 37 minutes, and I had lost precious time. Thankfully, the next few percent ticked by in great speed, giving me a golden segment as I hit 42% progress before even hitting 39 minutes. A stunning recovery that is sure to go down in speedrunning challenge history. But the climb didn't stop there, friends. 47% was hit within the next 30 seconds, that's an increase of 5%. With absolutely no exaggeration, mind you. And then the long-awaited 50% halfway mark was reached right under a staggering 40-minute record pace. In fact, it hit 51% by the time the counter hit 40 precisely. With another 5% then being built in the next 30 seconds, I wondered whether I'd need to go to bed at all. At this blistering pace, the shaders could be built in the next 20 minutes or... Wait, I just hit 60% at 41 minutes of progress. At this pace, let me do the maths, the shaders could be built within the next 4 minutes. I was so thrilled and captivated by this, I still hadn't watched any more of Casually Explained's video. Forget Formula 1 and the Grand Prix, this this is pod racing. At the 43-minute mark, the shaders hit 83%. Sorry, just 80% completion. Not that it matters, because I still had serious doubts about even needing to use the next part of my script. I had a whole transition plan for when I'd have to close the game. The fear of whether my progress would be lost when I restarted it. The horror of having to go to sleep with the anxiety and uncertainty of my progress. Would I be able to complete the challenge? Would I be able to edit the video before April Fool's was over in the US? Would I be able to do either while I still had an assignment to do, which was due at 9 AM on the 3rd of April, which as of time of this recording, it is actually tomorrow in less than 24 hours? Oh wait, it's done. The shaders. They were completed at a record 45 minutes and about 15 seconds-ish. I was too busy writing the script to actually check the time. But it was over. And with that said, it was time to get in some sweet, grounded Last of Us gameplay and see what the PC pod of this game really had in store. So yes. Yes, you can build the shaders for The Last of Us Part 1 before the Steam refund window expires. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all